Okay, Michael, so we've gone through some of the information in the contract, and you said that you were feeling comfortable with all of that, the confidentiality and everything. And you've told me a lot about the symptoms that you're experiencing right now and what you've been through, a little bit about your past and your history. So I appreciate you being open with me about that.
You're welcome.
And we also took the PTSD assessment, and you said that you weren't very surprised, but we did find out that you have PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And you've told me a little bit about those symptoms, but I was wondering what you think your biggest thing is right now that we really need to work on.
Well, right now I guess it would definitely be the anxiety, because it's just too much to bear. It just happens, just thoughts all the time from the crash, and they don't really ever stop.
And it sounds like too that some of that anxiety is playing a very active role in your nightmares and also in some of your relationships.
Yeah, you're right, it is. With my wife, I feel bad. I feel bad that I am quiet, or, am sidetracked all the time, or that I drink, to forget about stuff. But I don't know how else to cope with it or to deal with it. It's just really hard all the time, from morning till night.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'd like to do with you is some cognitive behavioral therapy. And what that basically means is a couple different things. One of them is really when we're putting a lot of the thoughts that you're having on trial. So instead of just accepting those thoughts as truth and, as this is how it's going to be, you can really kind of stop yourself and think about, okay, is this actually how it is? Or is it possible that it could be another way too? And it's not always the worst case situation. The other thing that we do with cognitive behavioral is we do quite a bit of goal setting, and I use some scaling questions to kind of figure out each week like how you're feeling as far as the anxiety levels go. And we work on, like you were talking about, some more positive coping techniques than maybe the drinking.
Mm-hmm. That would be nice.
Yeah. So can you talk to me a little bit about how often you are drinking right now?
Well, let's see, since I retired, which I guess I kind of knew that it would all hit me when I stopped all at once, but since I retired, I probably drink now 6 nights a week.
Okay.
Maybe one because I'm too hungover too, but probably six beers at least a night.
Okay, so 6 beers a night at least, and then usually about 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just about.
Okay. And you had also mentioned earlier how since your retirement, you've kind of felt like you've lost a little bit of your identity, and you're struggling to kind of, form a new one or to find that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was in it so long, and I went through so much that I kind of don't know who I am anymore. Mm-hmm. Why am I alive and they're not? Why are they all dead and I'm alive? And just it's really hard for me to think about every single day. So yes, I have lost who I am because I don't think I know who I am.
And I think that some of those thoughts that you're having are really common. And it's also not uncommon for that PTSD to hit years after an actual event has happened. And a lot of times that can be because you've stopped in your role. You're not flying anymore. Mm-hmm. And you've just had a completely different life change.
So I'm not the only one?
You're not.
Okay.
But I'd like to ask you some questions now, if that's okay.
Sure.
This is one technique that we use in cognitive behavioral, and it's actually called reality theory behavioral. And it's an analysis that we use through some questioning. And we talk about some of your wants for your life. We talk about what you're doing right now to help get you to where you want to be. And then we evaluate kind of what's worked and what hasn't. And then we set a plan. So that's really when we'll be making some of those goals for you.
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay. So first, I was wondering, and I think that probably this does have to do with the anxiety, if I'm hearing you correctly, but what it is that you really want right now out of your life. What is the biggest thing?
For the anxiety to go away.
And what are you not getting out of your life right now that you would like to because of the anxiety?
A lot. I'm not getting happiness anymore. I don't have good times with my wife anymore. I'm not able to go out in public as much. I have social anxiety, so I used to go out and have fun at bars and not overdrink, but now I just like to seclude myself and drink in the house because I'm kind of afraid to go out. And I have nightmares, those kind of things.
And what actions are you taking right now to help fulfill your wants?
It's a tricky question. To fulfill my wants, well, my only want right now is to drink, because that's the only thing that takes away my anxiety. So as far as any healthy coping skills, I can't say that I have any right now. Mm-hmm. My only healthy coping skill before was working, was flying, and I didn't really tell anybody how bad my anxiety was, because it wasn't as bad as it is now. But I don't think I really have any healthy coping skills anymore.
And I would imagine also that's probably not something that a lot of the guys talked about, is how they dealt with their feelings.
Nope, you don't mention it.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say that, since the only way that you're dealing with this right now is by drinking and by using some of those more negative coping techniques, what would you say that that's taking away from your life right now and from your wants? You're talking about your wife, you're talking about your social relationships.
It's taken away my happiness. I mean, it's taken away my love life. It's taken away my ability to spend time with others, my friendships, my work. Because now I don't even know if I can get hired anywhere else. So my financial part of my life, like being able to support my wife. Yeah, I have all the income that I have coming in from, before and stuff. But I still want to work, but I can't. So it takes away.
It sounds like it's pretty cyclical for you also, because you have the anxiety from everything that you've been through, and now from retiring from the Army, and then now the anxiety is trickling into, it seems like, almost every aspect of your life. And so the drinking isn't helping, and that adds more anxiety, and you have anxiety about your marriage and about trying to find another job, working after retirement. So yeah,
it's a good word. It really is.
And what would you say are some of the thoughts that go through your head when you decide to have that 6-pack at night, or whatever time of day, to deal with those things?
Well, usually the main one is why am I here? Mm-hmm. Why is it me that's left? Why did I live and everybody else around me, Randy, why did everybody die? Why did they all go away? And why did I make it? Why was I held captive for 11 days, but still survived? And really nobody else did. So that's usually what makes me put the beer bottle in my mouth.
And I wonder if it would be possible for you to start kind of using those thoughts that you're having, but looking at it in a different way. Like it was you who lived. Maybe that was for a certain reason. Maybe you're here to do something more.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I really haven't thought of it that way. I always look at it kind of black rather than see anything good in it. But that does make sense.
I'm wondering if we could think of some actions that might be more helpful in the short term and the long term, because we know that alcohol is going to be really, just unhealthy right now, certainly, but definitely for the long run too. Psychologically, medically, for your safety reasons and your health reasons. So, do you think that we could think of some different things that might help to improve your relationships, and that also are going to improve your thoughts and your well-being?
Like different things that I can do, you mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of makes me happy talking about it because it makes me, want to change my thoughts. And I guess maybe I could start thinking differently,
Yeah.
or thinking more positive than always thinking negative, or doing things that are more positive than negative. Maybe that would help me not drink at night, so maybe I could even find something else to do.
Yeah. I think that would be great. And and I think it's important for us to go ahead and set some goals, even today, even though it's our first session. I think that we agreed that 2 times a week would be good for right now to see each other. And there's things that we'll do throughout our sessions, and they're all kind of cognitive behaviorally related. So they'll teach you how to put some of those thoughts that you're having on trial. And we'll do some narrative therapy with you, which kind of helps you dissect, some of your really traumatic situations that you've been in. And we'll do some like breathing techniques to help reduce levels of anxiety.
Okay.
But for now, you told me that your anxiety level has been about a 9 consistently. And I was wondering if maybe together we could come up with a goal for what you would like it to be by next week, and then also by the end of our therapy time.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that sounds good.
okay. I see you brought a notebook with you.
Yeah, I did, just in case.
Yeah. So maybe we can talk about them, and then I would actually like for you to write out the goals when we're finished.
All right.
So what do you think is reasonable?
Anxiety-wise for me this week, maybe to bring it down, 3 points at least to a 6. I guess 6 or 5, so I'm not constantly always on edge, even though that's not a good amount. I would love to, for it to be gone, but to think rationally, probably 5 or 6 would be okay for me.
Okay. And I think even if it were a little bit higher, that would still be a big improvement, because from what you kind of described to me earlier, and you were kind of describing your idea of what that 9 looks like, it sounded to me like you were at a 9, certainly every day, but definitely like at certain points throughout the day, and even when you weren't at a 9 throughout the day, you were at least at an 8. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we'll see each other one more time this week, and then by next week, even if you could bring that to a 7, if you get it to 5 or 6, that's great. But also, we don't. I think that you'll definitely see results over the next few weeks, but it won't necessarily happen right away, and that's okay. These techniques that you're learning, they're going to take some time to get used to, and we'll have you journal a little bit about what that's like too.
Okay, so then I just bring this back next week with kind of my notes and my progress?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I think too, if maybe over the next few days, and certainly by next week, if you'll think about what you want your anxiety level to be at by the end of our sessions, which will be about 8 weeks away.
That'll be 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you already know. That's great. Okay. So next time, we'll learn some more about your thoughts. And it was nice to meet you, Mike. Thank you so much for coming in.
It was good to meet you too, Kimberly. Thank you.